Choo-choo! Ladies and gentlemen of the Victor Gyokeres steam train, we will shortly be arriving at our destination. We have been patient. We have waited 18 months. We have been aboard the Victor Gyokeres steam train, and now we are finally closing in. We are finally ready to bring him. Oh, it's unbelievable. We're going to be talking about that. Incredibly, we've announced Martin Zubimendi today as well. So, of course, we'll talk about that. Actually, pretty interesting stuff coming out from Sam Dean around the negotiating of that deal. We're going to be talking about Noni Madueke, which might bring the mood down a little bit. But before that, there is loads to talk about Victor Gyokeres and kind of why we've ended up going for him and not Benjamin Sesko. But look, it's a Sunday. This is an emergency stream. And I appreciate that there are over 200 of you here already. Now, if you could, please subscribe. By the way, we're like 16 subscribers away from 20,000 subscribers. So if we could hit 20,000 subscribers today on what is a majestic day for Arsenal Football Club, I'd be incredibly grateful. If you could click the like button as well, that would be sensational. And there are loads of you here that we absolutely love to see. Jakob Olofsson has given 695 money. Well, I don't know how much that is, but it's pink. Unbelievable. Welcome till Arsenal Victor. Yeah, Jacob, thank you so much for that. I mean, I don't know how much it is, but it seems like a lot. So thank you very, very much. And Liam Rushworth with a $4.99 as well says, is it a coincidence that the days after the Partey news came out, we got news about Noni, Zubi, Gyokeres, and Rodrigo? Perhaps it's not a coincidence. I mean, some of it was delayed. You know, the announcement for Martin Zubimendi was actually meant to be the day that Diogo Jota passed away. Equally, we had been told the next week or so was going to be an extremely busy period for Arsenal because Arteta wants things done before we go on tour. So, yeah, look, maybe there is a bit of that. Maybe there's not. Got to go back to this. Jacob, thank you so much for that one as well. What a start to the stream. Nid has been a member for 11 months. Nid, thank you so much for the support. Yo, it feels so good. I might just lose my mind. Dopamine is on an all-time high. Berta, I don't recognize my club anymore. Love you, Rory, and chat. Yeah, and from what I've seen with the cricket, Nid, I think you're probably enjoying that as well. Stefan is here with a gifted membership as well. Stefan, thank you very, very much. What an unbelievable supporter of the channel Stefan has been. Rory has now hit 20k subs as well. We've hit 20,000 subs. And there's the first celebration. 20,000 subscribers. Unbelievable. Do you know how many times I'm going to hit this next season? You know, regardless of what you think, we've now got the coldest celebration in the Premier League, possibly in world football. So we absolutely love to see it. And by the way, thank you lot, like all of you that are here, all the regulars that are here. The growth of the channel over the last few months has been absolutely unbelievable. I've never enjoyed streaming and making YouTube content as much as I do at the moment. And yeah, I just massively appreciate all of you. And Stefan's there with another gifted membership. I don't know how many members we've got now, but there's a lot of you, which we absolutely love to see. Yeah, there's no need to spam. There is no need to spam. Stefan, thank you very, very much. But look, for those of you that have not yet seen the Victor Gyokeres news, it actually started coming out this morning from reports in Portugal and Sweden suggesting that Victor Gyokeres to Arsenal was now very close. Talks had advanced. Apparently a big delegation of Arsenal representatives were in Portugal over the weekend to progress this deal, and that is what has happened. Fabrizio Romano saying Arsenal are now getting closer to signing Victor Gyokeres after a new round of talks in recent hours. Gyokeres will not return for training at Sporting as he is fully focused on leaving the club. Arsenal now advancing, nothing done yet, but discussions underway. He then followed that up by saying Gyokeres has reached total agreement with Arsenal on contract terms and informed Sporting about his desire to join Arsenal. No intention to discuss any other options, only to proceed with Arsenal as soon as possible. And then he also went on to say we could have the here we go very soon. Ornstein as well said Arsenal in advanced talks with Sporting to sign Victor Gyokeres. Transfer fee discussions continue, but personal terms in place. Mockbell saying, as reported here on Thursday, Arsenal now advancing with their interest in Victor Gyokeres. A swoop for the Sweden international, now the clear direction of travel. So all of the big hitters have managed to put out this news today, which you love to see. Mr. Big YouTuber, do you mind putting slow mode in the chat? Nid, I appreciate the 100 money. For now, no. I want the chat to be flying. This is what the Victor Gyokeres Steam train has been building up to. I can't read the messages they're going through that quickly, but whilst I'm reading out the other news and not the chat, I think you can just go wild. Go wild. Honduras, thank you very, very much for the 27 money. Stefan equals Mr. Beast undercover. Gyokeres, my Swedish goat. You love to see it. Thank you very, very much for that. Yeah, maybe Stefan is Mr. Beast. Maybe Mr. Beast is an Arsenal fan. Imagine. Hand of Arsenal. What has Hand of Arsenal had to say? Has he said anything? This is the thing. The news is all coming out as we are live. Has Hand of Arsenal said anything extra? No. So what he said 40 minutes ago was what I was going to say. Anyway, that was this. And this is why Arsenal have gone for Victor Gyokeres in the end over Benjamin Sesko. For the last 2 weeks, Marcel Schaefer, the director of football for Leipzig, has refused to negotiate lower than 90 million euros. The mission then became very clear. Arsenal now trying to close a deal for Victor Gyokeres. Talks ongoing over the structure of the fee and add-ons, and we've got more. 100 money again from Nid. Fees will be around 56 plus 10 million pounds. Nid, thank you very, very much. That is true. Ben Coyle with 10 New Zealand dollars. Thank you very much. Hey, Rory, love your vids. Never been able to watch your streams live because of the time difference in New Zealand, but I always watch them later. Keep up the great work. Come on, you gunners. Ben, thank you very, very much for those kind words. And apologies over the time difference. 400 money from Fizzy says most Gooners wanted NM from PSV. What changed? NM. Who's NM? Oh, Noni Madueke. Well, what changed is that he joined Chelsea and his price has doubled. So that's probably what's changed there. Well, we will talk about Madueke. Ryan, thank you very much for the 199. Says, man like Gyokeres, I feel like I'm in dreamland. Me too. Me too. Already got a name for him. Victor Gyarados. What does that mean? Thank you very much for the 40 money, though, Tanish. I don't know what that means, but thank you very much. What a day. What a day. Is there any chance we get 4 attackers? We'll talk about that. When we talk about the Madueke situation, we will talk about 4 attackers and whether or not we can get them. But yeah, look, going back to the Sesko thing, I said, right, between Victor Gyokeres and Sesko, I was always happy either way. I've wanted Gyokeres for a long time. I understood why we started moving for Benjamin Sesko. But ultimately, if he was refusing to push the issue at Leipzig and Leipzig were refusing to negotiate reasonably, I don't know what else we could have done. Oh my God, Lukey with the $25. Thank you very much, Lukey. Been on this Steam train for nearly 2 years now. It's finally coming into the station. Also, this is going to rival the Luton preview. It might, honestly, Lukey, long-time supporter of the channel, both here and on Twitch. Absolute legend. I do appreciate that. The Steam train has been chugging along for a while. And Jacob Olofsson has given 1,395 money. Let's buy the Gyokeres shirt. I might have to. I've already got this season's Arsenal shirt. Well, the home shirt. Oh, the white shirt. The third kit with Victor Gyokeres on the back. It might have to happen. It might have to happen. And honestly, Jacob, thank you so, so much. That is, between those 2 super chats you've done, I don't know how much that is, but that is incredible support. So thank you very, very much for that. And a $4.99 from Carrington Blunt says, Sesko better in the long term. Bun that. Big up Rory still, though. We will never know. Well, we might know, depending on what Sesko does. I understood the long-term plan for Benjamin Sesko, but equally, mate, when we're all doing this at Old Trafford on the opening day of the season, no one's going to be thinking about Benjamin Sesko. And short term, Victor Gyokeres is the type of player that I think could come in next season and win it all for us. Like, he will score goals. It's just what he does. Ryan, thank you for the $1.99. Can we get the Gyokeres celebrate? We can. Matt, I want to see Gyokeres doing this, Gabriel doing this. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable. The Gyokeres train is finally coming home. We've been around the world on it. We have been around the world on it. Have I missed something? Yes. Yes. We're signing Victor Gyokeres. That's what you've missed. Number 14? Yeah, do we give him number 14? Do we give him number 4? I don't know. What number do you think he takes? What number do you think he takes? How do you get a membership? I think if you go down below to where you can subscribe and click join channel, I think that's how you do it. What are your thoughts on his heading ability? I think his heading ability has been overly scrutinized, to be honest. When I watch, I see videos of his last 20 headers. Some of them they're not even bad. And the way that Sporting play, they don't really kind of attack his heading ability and go for that. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. He scores enough goals with his left and right foot that the heading issue isn't really something I'm concerned about anyway. If he scores 15 goals with his right foot and 10 with his left foot and none with his head, am I going to care? No. Stefan, thank you for another gifted membership. If you've just been gifted a membership by Stefan, please do make sure to thank him in the chat. If you're one of the 3 people that have been gifted a membership by Stefan, please do. 17, 9, 14. Yeah, 9 I could see. 9. But then Jesus has still got 9 though, right? That's the problem with that one. We added Norgard. It's fine if his headers aren't top class. Yeah, we got plenty of them. Jordan, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Unbelievable support. As always, the membership money goes straight back into the channel. I do massively, massively appreciate it. Jordan, welcome, welcome. Don't care if he can head the ball. We have Gabby and Norgard for that. We just need him to give us 25 goals. Listen, his movement is good enough that I think he'll get those back post headers anyway. I think it's going to be fine. I do think it's going to be fine. The Blocks is now a member. You'll love to see it. How do I buy a membership? Down below, I think. I don't actually know, but down below there should be something that says join the channel or join something. And that's how you do it. By the way, you never, ever have to become a member. I appreciate anyone that just watches the channel. That's all I need, and clicks the like button because that is free, and the subscribe button because that is free. But anything else on top of that, never ever feel obliged to do that. Guna72 has become a member as well. Thank you very, very much. Guna72, welcome to the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel membership club. 720 viewers. What a day. What a day. Do you think Klopp is a part of the... Someone did say that before. Yeah, Klopp. What impact is Jurgen Klopp having? Because it sounds like Leipzig rolled back on a lot of things that they had kind of agreed to give us this summer. So last summer, when we agreed to back off Sesko and he signed a new contract, it sounded like they were prepared to make some concessions this summer, which they're now not willing to do. So one of the things was that they were requesting £83 million, which is that 90 million euros or whatever, but just straight up, as a one flat fee, not even with add-ons, So I just think it got very difficult. Nid, thank you very, very much for 40 money. Guys, get us to 1K likes. Rory will sing North London forever. I will. If you get me to 1,000 likes on a stream, I will sing North London forever. Gentleman's agreement. Yeah. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if the mic was able to cancel that out. That was a massive crack of thunder. Listen, the gods are enjoying it. The gods are enjoying Victor Gyokeres. They're celebrating. They're clapping. They're clapping from the sky. God, that was huge. That was good. I think this might have. I think the mic might have cancelled that out, so I probably just looked really weird then. But that was crazy. Fizzy, thank you very, very much for the 400 money. The ops can start getting uneasy, far too relaxed. Well, now the people that themselves would have loved Victor Gyokeres will start telling you that he's not good enough and he's basically only done it at championship level and stuff like that. But trust me, when he starts banging in goals, the thing about him is that he's so ruthless, and his understanding of just where to be in the box to sniff out goals. it doesn't matter what league you've done that in. If you're at a club like Arsenal that are going to generate huge numbers of chances, that are going to be in and around the box so often, like, he just is going to score goals off the back of that, because the ball will find its way to him and he will find his way to put it in the back of the net. Like that, he doesn't need to be an elite 1v1 dribbler or anything like that. He's got the power, he's got the strength, he's got the aggression. Stefan has gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Unbelievable. Stefan, I dread to think how many memberships you have given to this channel over the last couple of weeks, but 10 of you have just become members thanks to Stefan. Please do make sure, if you've just been gifted a membership by Stefan, you thank him in the chat. Just ridiculous support, Stefan. Absolutely ridiculous. There you go. Kimmy's one of them. You love to see it. When he played against Arsenal, I know he didn't score, but his movement was something else. He made Saliba and Gabby work very hard. Yeah, he did. He hit the post against Arsenal. That's the thing. People said he didn't score against us. There are lots of strikers that don't score against Arsenal, but he did create problems for us. So, yeah, look, I'm incredibly excited for it. And kind of interested. I mean, I wonder if Sesko does end up anywhere else. But the thing is, let's say later in the window, because I am still certain that Leipzig have to sell Benjamin Sesko this summer. Like, they cannot afford not to sell him. So at some point, I think they're going to have to step down from demanding 90 million euros. And maybe someone is going to benefit from that. Maybe, I don't know, Chelsea or Liverpool. Maybe someone comes in really late in the window and gets him for 70 million euros instead of 90. But we've said as a fan base, relentlessly, Arsenal need to get the striker signing done as early as possible. That Arsenal cannot wait and hope later into the window to get the one that they want for the price that they want. Because you could end up in the exact same position as last year and end up not getting them at all. So I cannot complain that Arsenal have left it as long as they could. We knew Arteta wanted the striker signing before we went on tour. I cannot complain that Arsenal have tried and waited for as long as possible and got to this stage and gone, we can't keep trying for Sesko. Gyokeres is forcing his way out at Sporting. Sporting have come down on the price that they're asking for him. We're hearing now £56 million plus between 8 and 13 in add-ons. So at an absolute max, you might look at ending up spending £69 million on Gyokeres if all of the add-ons were included. Like, that's fine. That's how you negotiate. And so with Sesko, we couldn't keep waiting. We had a couple more things here. Rian Donnellan has become a new member. Thank you very, very much, Rian. Welcome to the Rory Talks Football membership club. And Jakob's given another 695 money. He's off his rocker. I heard YouTube take 50%. YouTube do take 50%. They are greedy. But that is ridiculously generous. I mean, seriously, that is above and beyond generous from Jakob. So thank you so much. And we're getting a Gyokeres shirt. Like, literally, I'm going to buy the Gyokeres shirt off the back of that. Thank you very, very much. 69 million is genuinely a steal. Feels like it. Just as Martin, yeah, we'll talk about the Zubimendi deal. We will talk about the Zubimendi deal very shortly. I am happy to become a member. Welcome. At the back end of Rodrigo, Eze, and Gyokeres, I can accept the Madueke deal to Arsenal, but then again, I'd rather use that cash for Xavi Simons. Yeah, we will talk about that. Any Mosquera news? No, it sounds like it's going to be wrapped up this week, though. They're still trying to get that deal done. Apparently, we've still not bid more than 14 million euros for him, which is like 10 million quid. So that seems like a cheap deal that's going to happen. Mosquera has rejected Valencia's contract offer and is determined to move to Arsenal. So we're in a position now where I think we can negotiate for a pretty decent fee. Is Gyokeres a here we go? Not yet, but Fabrizio said we can expect the here we go very soon. So it sounds like it. Yeah, the third kit with Victor Gyokeres on it. Jakob has paid for the third kit with Victor Gyokeres on the back of it, and you will see it. Once we release that kit, we've not released it yet, but that's what we're doing. That is what we are doing. I think we're going to fill all our holes. Mad. Berta is a madman. Yeah, he is. He is. This is a Berta transfer, not Arteta. Yeah, it is. But Arteta made it very, very clear that this summer it needed to happen before we went on tour. Whether it was Sesko or Gyokeres, he wants to go on the pre-season tour with the striker because he wants them to be ready for what is an incredibly difficult start to the Premier League season. Nid, thank you very, very much for gifting a membership. Whoever's just been gifted a membership by Nid, please do make sure to thank him in the chat with your new shiny green name, as you are now a member of the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel. Nid, incredible support. Incredible support. Has Norgard been confirmed? Not yet. We're still waiting to do that announcement. I think because obviously the Zubimendi announcement got pushed. It was meant to be on Thursday, ended up being today. I'd assume the Norgard one will come next week, probably. Obviously, we've done Kepa, we've done Zubi. So, yeah, Berta isn't a Berta. Have a slow window. What an incredible pun that is. Unbelievable. I'll take Gyokeres, Eze, Zubimendi, and Rodrigo. If not Leao. Just don't give me that bum from Chelsea. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But before we get into that, the other lovely news from today, of course, is the news that we have signed one Martin Zubimendi. Who saw that coming, by the way? This came completely out of nowhere. I thought he was a Liverpool player. I thought he was a Real Madrid player. No, we've got Zubimendi. We're delighted to announce that Spain international Martin Zubimendi has joined us on a long-term contract. Blah, 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 blah. Martin said, this is a huge moment in my career. It's the move I was looking for and one I wanted to make. As soon as you set foot here, you realize how big this club and this team are. I set my sights on Arsenal because their style of play is a good fit for me. They have shown their potential recently, and the best is yet to come. Sporting director Andrea Berta added, we're so happy to bring Martin to Arsenal and have a lot of pride in finalising this transfer. Martin was a key target for us, and we all know that he is a perfect fit for our squad with the high quality he has. We welcome Martin and his family to the club. We look forward to him settling in with his teammates and are very excited to see him playing in an Arsenal shirt. Mikel Arteta added, Martin is a player who will bring a huge amount of quality and football intelligence to our team. He will fit in really well, and he has all the attributes to be a key player for us. The standard he has consistently performed at over the last few seasons for both club and country is exactly why we are so excited to have him with us. We all welcome Martin and his family to the club. Martin Zubimendi is an Arsenal player. And what was interesting was the story around it. So Sam Dean came out and he said this. Around the time that he was strongly considering the offer from Liverpool, Zubimendi was also presented with an alternative opportunity. Arsenal. According to sources in Spain, Arsenal made it clear to Sociedad last summer that they wanted to sign two of their midfielders. Arsenal were keen for Mikel Merino to join immediately and then for Zubimendi to come a year later in the summer of 2025. It made an extraordinary situation. This was effectively a hugely ambitious package deal for two high-class Spanish internationals at the cost of more than £80 million. Merino cost around 30, while Zubimendi has cost more than 50. The prospect of working with Arteta was another significant factor in Zubimendi's decision. Not only are the two men from the same city, but they also played for the same amateur club, Antiguoco. As kids, club sources say the two men formed an instant connection. So there you go. That's the story. Liverpool was there. It was heading in that direction. Arsenal knocked at the door and Zubimendi said, yes, please. Nid, thank you very, very much for the 40 money. Read Sammy Mockbell article about Zubi for everything. Yeah, well, Sam Dean's got one. Mockbell, I assume, is a similar one. But yeah, look, ultimately, Arsenal are just different, aren't we? The Arsenal knock is a different knock. But he's right. I actually do think he's massively going to suit the way that Arsenal play. And I did think it was interesting. I assume at this point you'll have seen the transfer, the video we put out with the signing. It's all about tempo. It's all about rhythm. It's all about dictating the pace of the game. Slow, then quick. He's the controller. He's the rhythm setter. And that is what he is. Like, fundamentally, That is what he does especially well for Spain. Stefan has given another gifted membership. Stefan, unbelievable. Unbelievable support from Stefan. There we go. Jakob Olsen has just been given one. So there you go. Unbelievable. Olofsson, sorry, has just been given it. So there you go. Another green name in the chat. You'll love to see it. The transfer announcement by Burnley of Walker was so cringe. I've not even seen it, I don't think. I don't think I've even seen it. Fabrizio just said there's a big difference in valuation for Madueke. Okay, no need to spam. AFC Ball, no need to spam. Please don't spam. Please don't spam. Let's see what Fabrizio is saying. If you spam, one of the moderators might time you out. So don't do that. Where has Fabrizio said this? He's not said it on his own Twitter. So where has he said this? I'm trying to find what Fabrizio has said. Nid, thank you very much for the 40 money. Like the stream to make Rory sing North London forever. Look, if you could like the stream, I would be incredibly grateful. There's nearly 1,000 of you here at the moment, which is incredible. Where has Fabrizio said this? In a video? It's all reported around X. Who's reported it? It's on his YouTube. Who's reported it? I normally go to Doc, but he hasn't said anything yet. He said it in a YouTube video. No worries, Carter. No worries, Carter. It's from the CFC account. Not sure when he said it. All right, let's find this. CFCP. Let's see this. Because the next talking point is Noni Madueke. Okay, yeah. So based on a Fabrizio Romano video, I believe, there is quite a difference at the moment in Chelsea's valuation and Arsenal's valuation for Madueke. Madueke waiting for club to club as he's ready to join the Gunners. So, yeah, ultimately, this is what I felt we were doing. 29 money sticker from Austin George. Austin George, thank you very, very much for the sticker. No words with it. And AFC him, thank you for the 199. Are you going to the newly announced preseason games? Yeah, I'll be at all of the preseason games. I will be at all of the preseason games, definitely. Please at least get to 500 likes to make him sing half the song. I don't know if that was the deal. But look, what we saw from Sam Dean this morning was this. Understand that Chelsea are expecting to field offers of more than 50 million for Noni Madueke. Arsenal are advancing in talks for the player. And that sent people into meltdown because I think we can all agree or disagree on the signing of Madueke, right? In terms of, is it necessary? Do we want to do another deal with Chelsea? Does it block a pathway for Ethan Nwaneri? Like all of that stuff, like that, I fully understand the difference of opinion. I don't think there's a single Arsenal fan that would say signing Noni Madueke for 50 million is a sensible thing to do, right? Whether you think it's a good signing or not, 50 million, I think is far too much. Now, based on what Fabrizio has just said, there's a big difference in Chelsea's valuation and Arsenal's. We have now got to the point where Madueke has fully agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Of course, he was on a really small amount of money at Chelsea. It's 150 grand a week, reportedly. So it was probably quite easy to offer him a fair bit more. And you've got to bear in mind, let's say, for example, we move Reece Nelson off the books this summer. Reece Nelson's on 100 grand a week. So you could bring in Madueke on 100 grand a week, get Nelson off the books, and you've made no difference to the actual wage bill with that one. Did I miss one? No, I don't think so. I'm going to like the video instead. I appreciate it. But yeah, so look, you get Madueke to agree. Chelsea really have to sell him this summer, even though they've said they don't really, they're not pushing him to go. They kind of have to. With Esteval, they're supposedly interested in Mohamed Kudus, Neto, Delap, Palmer. They've got Quenda coming in next summer. Like, they are going to have to get rid of him. Even this season, he still wasn't getting guaranteed minutes game in, game out. And so I think Madueke is going to leave. If he pushes for Arsenal, I think we should get it done. I'd be looking at like 30, 35 mil, to be honest, which is what they paid for him. And obviously, I understand from their situation, they're going to want to make a profit on Madueke. And that would be fairly reasonable because he's not been a bad player for them. I just think from an Arsenal perspective, striker seems like it's going to be done. The left winger, is a bigger priority. And with what's happening with Rodrigo, we have to be there to sign Rodrigo. And then I'd still say Eze would be more important, in my opinion, than Madueke. So apparently Kudus only wants spuds. Yeah. They have Esteval Willian joining as well. Yeah, exactly. Esteval. So you got Esteval. You've obviously got Neto, but they also want Kudus. Sorry, I completely forgot. They just signed Gittins for 55 million. Joao Pedro. So through the middle currently, they've got Pedro. I mean, they've still got Nkunku on the books, but Delap, Jackson. So then you say, okay, but yeah, maybe Jackson's maybe off the left. But there you've got Gittins and Jackson and Neto. You've got Esteval off the right. Cole Palmer somewhere, centrally or off the right. Like, it's a mess. Kendry Paez as well. Yeah, so ultimately, I think they have to move Madueke on. There are a couple of things, by the way, that people get wrong on Madueke. He's not homegrown. Madueke is not. People assume that because he's English and he plays for England, he's homegrown. He's not. That is not the way that the homegrown quota works. So to be classified as homegrown, you have to have played, you have to have been registered with an FA club, so an English FA club, you have to have been registered with for 3 years before turning 21. Well, Noni Madueke, at 16, left England to join the PSV Academy. And he didn't come back until he was 21. So he was never registered for an FA club for 3 years before turning 21. He isn't homegrown. That is just the way it works. You know, it's kind of crazy. Like, Martinelli's homegrown, Saliba's homegrown, Madueke isn't homegrown. But that's what it is. That's just the way it is. So there shouldn't be. So when people say, oh, you pay extra for the homegrown, he's not homegrown. Hopefully with Musiala being injured, it doesn't make Bayern go all out for Rodrigo. Well, I think they'd be more likely to go out all out for Xavi Simons, to be honest, than Rodrigo. Rodrigo's not really a Musiala type player. So I don't think they will. If anything, it could work the other way, where if they did want Rodrigo, because they do want a left winger, now actually they've got to focus more on someone like a Xavi Simons. So we'll wait and see. Thoughts on Gyokeres over Sesko? We've been captaining this steam train for long enough. That's my thought. If we walked away from Sesko because of the fee, surely we'll walk away from the Madueke fee. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I expect so. And yeah, like you said, Eze all day, every day. I agree. Obviously, this ties back into the whole Nwaneri situation. I'm not worried about Nwaneri at the moment, right? There's a couple of things to consider here. First of all, this idea that he's not being given opportunities or game time and needs to be guaranteed that going into next season to stay. He's been given a huge amount of opportunity, and that opportunity did dwindle towards the end of the season when Saka came back. I think Nwaneri was struggling physically towards the end of the season, to be honest with you. That was alluded to a fair bit, that he was struggling with the amount of minutes that he played in the Premier League last season. He's still growing, and that can cause problems. But ultimately, he played 37 times for Arsenal last season. And there is no other top European club that can guarantee him more game time than Arsenal can, right? So when you see, oh, Chelsea are interested, we've just reeled off the amount of attacking players that Chelsea have. So even if you say, okay, but he's going to play centrally, well, I think Cole Palmer's going to have to play centrally. So is he going to play over Cole Palmer? Probably not. Is he going to play off the right? No. So that doesn't worry me. AFC Him, thank you for the $1.99. You able to check my TikTok, AFC Him? I will try. Tag me in a video on TikTok, and I will catch that after the stream. But generally, Chelsea doesn't worry me. There's no other top European club that worries me. And I also am just well aware that his agent is an absolute menace. Every single time, even as a youth player, when you give them youth terms, right? He became the highest paid youth player that we'd had. Every time that happened, it started coming out from proper sources. Man City have taken the lead. Chelsea are interested. His agent is a little rage baiter, right, that doesn't care at all about Ethan Nwaneri's actual career. Exactly the same as Amari Hutchinson's. There's a huge issue with youth players, agents caring far more about themselves than about the player. Chido Obi Martin's another one. So they can keep doing that as much as they want. I'm not worried. I'm fairly sure that we will tie him down. And ultimately, a 17-year-old that's just turned 18, who is undoubtedly an incredibly talented player, still has no right to demand guaranteed minutes. In the same way that really, I don't want any Arsenal player to demand guaranteed minutes. And when we've looked at signing strikers in the past, and we said it last summer with Sesko, when he didn't want to join Arsenal because he wanted guaranteed minutes at that point and he didn't think he'd get it, fine. No one is entitled to guaranteed minutes at Arsenal. There are certain players that you can guarantee minutes to, Bukayo Saka, William Saliba, Declan Rice, but ultimately, you don't get that, and you have to earn it. So I think it'll be fine. I don't actually think Madueke joining would affect it. I actually think Eze joining would have a bigger impact on Nwaneri's minutes than Madueke, because I'm certain the club still see him as a central player, as an 8, a 10, not as a right winger. And I actually don't think long-term Nwaneri suited being on the right wing. He did it at the under-21 Euros with England, and I didn't think he looked at his best there. So the Madueke signing doesn't bother me in that sense. And ultimately, I'm not that worried. I'm not that worried about it. Other than Saka, no one is guaranteed minutes. No. I mean, David Raya is, but... yeah, Raya, yeah. Nwaneri was injured as well last season. Yeah. As soon as Nwaneri started getting more minutes, he got injured. So, there's no rush. There's no rush. And if he's sensible, he'll know that too. So, if you have to demand game time, you're not ready to be a top player, you got to earn it. Earn it. Nwaneri was injured. Yeah. So, do you think Eze would be okay for a bench player? Do you think he would want that? No, but I said this to someone yesterday. I don't want to sign a player who is signing to be a bench player. So I don't want to sign Eze and it be like, we're saying to him, yeah, well, we want a rotation option, so we're going to bring you in. I want to sign Eze, and in Eze's head, he's joining Arsenal thinking, I'm going to be a starting player for Arsenal by the end of this season. I am good enough to start for Arsenal, and I'll show that. The same someone said it on Twitter yesterday, and I replied about Mohamed Kudus. When they originally sign, especially if it's like someone playing off the right wing, if it's a traditional right winger, obviously, when they first sign, they are going to be the backup to Bukayo Saka, because it's Bukayo Saka. But you want someone that over time is genuinely going to believe that they can be good enough to fight their way into the starting 11. Otherwise, what's the point? If you bring someone in who's getting a pay rise to be a bench player and they're happy with that, what's the motivation for them? Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. This is, I shouldn't even draw attention to these, but for Leo, I will just give you that minute of attention, right? You're a Manchester United fan. It is currently 5-2 on a Sunday. And this is how you're spending your time. Now, I would just say, personally, I'd perhaps look at this situation and reevaluate your life and what is currently happening in it. That's personally what I would just, as a suggestion, as someone who cares about you and your future, I would just maybe have a look at that, at what you're doing on a Sunday afternoon. Who leaves between Martinelli and Trossard? There have been reports about both Martinelli and Leandro Trossard leaving. And to be fair, if we brought in Madueke and Eze and Rodrigo, I do think you would have to start looking at both Trossard and Martinelli leaving. If you were to look at who the attacking options for next season would be, you're talking Eze, Rodrigo, Havertz, Gyokeres, Jesus, Saka, Madueke, Nwaneri. Do you need maybe one more? Maybe you keep one of them. But ultimately, there are potentially bids from Saudi Arabia for Gabriel Martinelli, potentially another bid from Saudi Arabia for Leandro Trossard, because we know that they reached out right at the end of last summer when it was too late. And also, apparently, Fenerbahce could be interested in Leandro Trossard as well. So I certainly think we end up selling one of them this summer. And possibly two, because ultimately, if you're bringing in 4 attacking players, which still is mental to even consider that we might do. But if you're bringing in 4 attacking players, okay, you're probably going to lose Reece Nelson this summer. Jesus is just a difficult one because he's unavailable for the first however many months of the season, but he's on a lot of money. And then at least one of Martinelli and Trossard. Is Eze really going to play off the left, though? Yeah, I mean, I've watched Eze off the left for England, and I think he's really good. But also, it depends how we want to play next season. Because I think if we bring in Rodrigo, the left winger is not going to be a touchline winger next season. How much would you take for each? Well, look, I saw some numbers today that were like 70 million for Martinelli and 35 for Trossard. If you could get 100 million... If you could get 100 million for Martinelli and Trossard combined, I think you take it. I think you take that. Dave, thank you very, very much for the £2 super chat. From any player, who would you take as a Saka backup? Kudus. Kudus would be my choice. I know some people don't. People yesterday started bringing up stats. I use these things. I am well aware that any attacking player in a West Ham team last season is not going to look as good on the stats as a Chelsea player last season, right? That's just how it works. There are other players that were at bad clubs last season that also won't have as good stats. Iliman and Jai, for example, I think is an electric player at Everton, but he was at Everton, so his stats don't look great. From what I have seen, particularly actually against Arsenal, Kudus would be my preference over a Madueke. And apparently Tottenham bid 50 million for Kudus, right? So if we're talking about going 50 million for Madueke, what's the difference? Kudus off the right-hand side is where he is his most prolific, or has been over his career. He's left-footed. He's far more versatile than Madueke. And I think he's a bully, you know? The running power that he has, the ability to take players on in 1v1s, I love it. So, yeah, Kudus would be mine, but Kudus is going to ruin his career if he joins Spurs. Yeah, possibly. Michael, welcome. Welcome to the live chat for the very first time. Very expensive, though. Yeah, but if it's 50 million for Kudus or 50 million for Madueke, I'd rather go Kudus, surely. Fair, if Madueke ends up being 30, 35, and we don't have the budget to go further than that, then that's fine, but I don't know. You have more chances of membership if you like the stream and subscribe. Yeah, you do. Apparently that's true. People that are more active in the chat, like the streams and stuff like that, apparently they're more likely to get a membership when people gift memberships to the channel. So if you could click the like button, there's nearly 1,000 of you here. So I would be incredibly grateful for that. Zubimendi interview. I'll catch up with that afterwards. We read some of it out. Carter, thank you. We did indeed hit 20,000 subscribers today. Arsenal just posted Zubi's interview video. I'll catch up with that one afterwards. I will catch up with that one afterwards. What happens to Nwaneri if Rodrigo, Eze, Madueke come in? He has to work harder to make sure that he's a long-term Arsenal player. Yeah, if we're saying, okay, we bring those players in, it blocks the path free from Nwaneri, it makes the path more difficult. Good. Like, you know, there comes a point where you have to say, what do we want to win things, or do we want to just give easy pathways to youth players? You know, if Nwaneri is as good as we all believe he will be, Madueke joining will not be a problem because he'll be better than Madueke and he'll prove that. Same with Eze. And you've also got to think, with how old they are, I saw someone talking about, you know, blocking the path for Max Dowman. By the time Max Dowman's 20, players like Ødegaard and Eze are going to be in their early 30s, and we will be moving on from them. So, yeah, pathways, I'm not overly focused on them. And Nwaneri plays the 8. Long term, I think he can, but this has been part of the problem. Physically, Nwaneri has not developed yet in the way that other young players. Look, people develop at different rates, right? When I was 18, I was tiny. I mean, now I'm just a bit fat. But the point is, people physically mature at different rates. Miles Lewis-Skelly, physically, is well ahead of Nwaneri, which is why he was able to play as much as he did last season. As an 8, I think you have to be physically developed. In the same way, Max Downman for a 15-year-old, massively physically developed. How's everyone fitting on the bench? Well, not everyone will fit on the bench, to be honest with you. Obviously, Tomiyasu's gone. Mosquera replaces him. So defensively, it will be pretty similar to how it was. Tierney's gone. But yeah, there's a chance that not everyone does fit on the bench, to be honest. But it was like that at the start of last season. At the start of last season, Jakub Kiwior didn't get on the bench. Do you think Nwaneri is in the same place as Palmer at City? Possibly. But City made a mistake letting go of Palmer because they let go of Mahrez in the same summer. And Palmer should have been ready to take that on from him. We're slightly different. I think a lot of it also depends on the season that Ødegaard has next season. If Ødegaard gets back to his best, I don't think people will be complaining about whether or not Nwaneri's getting minutes. Obi Martin and Heaven left because they found the pathway too hard, so left. They're now at Man United, and others are in the Championship, like Walters Butler. Yeah, exactly. You can leave. You can give up. You can take the easy route to get minutes and see where it ends up. Amari Hutchinson, well done. Look at what that did for you, you know? Remember, at all times, we will have 5 injuries at all times. Yeah, again, look at where we ended up last season. You know, depth is not something that I'm going to complain about this season, based on what happened last season. He's nicknamed Gyokeres for a reason. He's deadly in front of goal. He is. Oh, that's why I'm so excited, honestly. That is why I'm so excited. But look, anyway, this is going to be the end of the stream. I've actually got some cricket to go and watch. So I'm going to go and watch the cricket. This was an emergency stream. It was an incredible stream. Jakob, Stefan, Lukey, anyone that became a member today, the support, genuinely unbelievable. I'm incredibly grateful for it. We've hit 20,000 subscribers as well, which is absolutely massive. So thank you so much for that. The Steam train is arriving at its final destination, and there will be more. Oh, you want a quiz question? You want a quiz? Yeah, I'll give you a quiz question. We'll do that. But yeah, we will be back with more content tomorrow, a video and a stream. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's find a question here. Bear with me. Oh, this is a good one. Here's your quiz question. Which team did Unai Emery's first win as an Arsenal manager come against? Which team did Unai Emery's first win as an Arsenal manager come against? I'll give you the multiple choice once someone's got it right. All right, people have got it right. The multiple choice is this. A, Newcastle United. B, West Ham United. Or C, Burnley. They were the 3. Newcastle, West Ham, or Burnley. The first person to get it right was Ollie Whitby. Ollie Whitby wins the quiz. It was indeed West Ham United. Ollie Whitby was first. Who was second? Nid with Ham West was second. Sam Shapiro was third. Ollie Whitby even gave us the score. Harry Forward was fourth. And Francisco Oliveira was 5th. So there you go. Congratulations to Ollie Whitby. The goal has been given by Ross Lawman. You absolutely love to see it. How do you know something like that? To be fair, remembering the score, that's good knowledge. But look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Like I said, thank you so much for all of the support. I will be back tomorrow. If you want to join the Discord and continue the Arsenal conversation, the link is in the bio. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, the end of the weekend, and I will catch you all on the next one. Until then, goodbye.